Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz. It's time to see what's in my tumbler, episode 34. So this is Catdog on Fire that is currently in stage 2. It is going along. No complaints on this. We're going to get these all rinsed off. Little bit brown on the slurry for some reason, but yeah, sometimes that happens. I think it's the tiger's eye that does that. I seem to see a lot of batches of tiger's eye that comes out pretty brown. So, as a reminder, Catdog is cheetah jasper, labradorite, and fire quartz, hence the Catdog on Fire. And then, so we're going to get these rinsed off in a burnishing cycle. I've been burnishing between all of my stages lately. I feel like it just helps a lot. There's just a lot of stuff that gets stuck in there. So, I don't burnish for a whole real long time. It's really just about, 6 to 8 hours. Sometimes overnight if I get busy, but not terribly often. So we're going to get that labeled as stage 2 soap, meaning it's in burnishing cycle. And then we're going to open up this burnish. Look at how brown that water is. Definitely needed that cycle. Now, something I have been neglecting to do recently is inspecting between my stages, and I've been getting a lot of broken rocks. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to doing this, which is sorting and taking a really good look between each of the stages. This is actually sped up. So that was my water pick that I use if I think I see some grit deep down into a crack. I use that water pick to kind of shoot it out because you don't want that going into the next stage. So I've been really lazy about doing these inspections, and I think that would have caught some of the broken rocks that I've seen. Now, those broken rocks haven't caused issues with shine or anything because it happens generally in the last stage, but you just don't want that. You don't want to run that risk. So that has a bit of a rough spot in it that I feel like it needs to go back to stage 1. So that those two I put back into stage 1. I have my storage cups up there that I just drop them in when I need to. So I'm just doing a quick inspection, making sure these are all actually ready to go into stage 3, that they don't have any grit left in them that they're going to carry into the next stages that can cause some problems. So, and that being said, because I had to take a couple out, there was some room in there, so I'm topping it up. Whenever I put media into a barrel, it stays with that barrel until it comes out of stage 4. That way, whenever I add new media, it's always something that's been all the way through stage 4, so I can add it in at stage 3 if I need to. And it's not going to carry grit or be too rough for that stage. So that's something I always do, is I just make sure that once I add media, it stays in until stage 4 so that it is okay to add it at any other stage after that. So that's stage 3 grit with a little bit of borax. I really am liking the borax. I feel like it does thicken that slurry up and help it stick to the rocks a little better. And I'm seeing some pretty decent results from that. So these are now Catdog on Fire going into stage 3. And now Obsidian. So I have done 2 batches of Obsidian starting in stage 2. This, I have a lot of Obsidian, so that's why I'm doing it in batches, because you want 50% media, 50% Obsidian when you're tumbling it, and you want to start it at stage 2 because Obsidian is very soft. Now remember last week I didn't put baking soda in this barrel just to see, well, I forgot, but then, we can see if I really needed. This batch of Obsidian did not need it. I didn't need to burp that barrel at all. So I wouldn't say if you're tumbling Obsidian, you don't need to keep an eye and burp your barrels and make sure they're not having gas built up, but I'm saying that with this batch of Obsidian, I did not need to. So it is something you need to keep in mind if you're going to do it, that it can build up gas and it can make your barrels explode if you're not careful. And especially if you're doing like regular glass, you definitely need to be checking your barrels regularly. So there were a couple that were not ready to move on yet. So I'm going to put, those are in the bottom of the barrel, and then I'm going to top up or put all that media back in. And then I have a few more pieces. So I have a couple more of the Snowflake Obsidian and a couple more of that Midnight Web Obsidian. And so we're going to put all of that in the barrel and then again top up the tumbling media to make sure that the barrel is full enough. And then we're going to move or put this into stage 2. Now, after this, all of my obsidian will have gone through stage 2, and we can start doing stage 3, which is from this point on, I'm going to tumble obsidian like normal. Some people will do it shorter amounts of times. I've tumbled obsidian before in batches with other rocks, and it's done perfectly fine tumbling regularly. So this is now, that's obsidian in stage 2. So now we're going to look at the Bahia Agates that are in stage 1. There's some nasty looking slurry. So I'm really surprised with these agates because they're round already. I was like, oh, they'll just have like 1, maybe 2 weeks in stage 1 and they'll be ready for stage 2. But they have a lot of craters and crevices and other things in there that are kind of keeping them from being ready to move on to stage 2. I do have a few that are moving on, but not a whole lot. So I'm gonna again just go through these and check them for cracks and things. Most of the things that are not Bahia agates were ready to move on. So there was some jasper in there, some of the polychrome jasper, and then that was a piece of yellow jasper right after that. But most of the Bahia agates are not ready to move on. So they're gonna spend a bit more time in stage 1. I do end up topping up this barrel with some other things, I think. Maybe, I don't remember. This was all yesterday, I don't remember. So yeah, so all those chips and things that I use for filler, I'm putting right back in because they're just filler. So okay, I did not end up topping this up with anything. I didn't take a whole lot out. So going back to stage 1, 4 tablespoons of stage 1, and then a tablespoon of borax to help thicken up the slurry, which I almost forgot about and then remembered as I was putting the lid on. So we're putting that in there and then tighten that down, and the Bahia agates are still in stage 1. I have a feeling they're going to be there for quite a while because some of those crevices are pretty deep. All right, and now Catdog and Friends. This was the labradorite and cheetah jasper that was still needing more time in stage 1, and then I threw in some other things as well. So the labradorite really makes a pretty slurry. That shimmeriness comes from the labradorite, I think. But yeah, so this is Catdog and Friends, and spoiler alert, it's going to get renamed. You'll see why. But anyway, getting these rinsed off like we normally do. And I'm thinking I might move out of the shower and try to do some, go back outside to rinse. I don't know. I don't like getting wet in the shower so much. It's not that bad, but it kind of is. Anyway, so this has some, aventurine and some other stuff in here. So there is some fire quartz. So cup is stage stuff that's ready for stage 2. Barrel are things that still need more time in stage 1. So that was some labradorite. And so just going through here, that's a piece of barrel. More cheetah jasper. Anyway, what ended up happening is almost all of the labradorite and the fire quartz is no longer in this barrel. So it can't be Catdog anymore because the dog part is not in there, the labradorite. So I ended up renaming this. I'm not going to tell you what I renamed it. If you don't know already what era I grew up in, you'll see when I rename these. I amuse myself. Anyway, so yeah, just going through here, sorting like you normally do, looking for cracks and crevices and things that I'm not happy with, and trying to decide if it needs to stay in stage 1 or stage 2. So, like I said, almost all the labradorite's ready to move on to stage 2. That cup is fairly full, but not full enough to start its own barrel yet, but there's a ton of room in that barrel. So, adding to the cheetah jasper that's already in there, and then whatever these rocks are. This is again mixed rocks I buy from the rock shed. I like being surprised sometimes, so I just buy the mixed bags and just don't know what I'm gonna get. So then fill that with water and put in the borax. I don't wash my rocks, by the way. I know a lot of people do. I don't feel like it's necessary, but some people like to wash their rocks before they tumble them. I do not. So that's stage 1 grit with the borax. There was a chip in the lip of that, so I couldn't close it. I had to knock that in. And now get that tightened down, and now time to rename it. So labradorite is gone. Fire opal's gone. It's just cheetah jasper and a bunch of other random things. So this is now Cheetah Girls and Friends. It's so stupid, but I think it's funny. Anyway, so Cheetah Girls and Friends in stage 1. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with what's in my tumbler.